There are beautiful places in the world. And then there are Norway's fjords. Towering cliffs rise straight out of deep blue water. Waterfalls cascade down mountains that were carved by glaciers thousands of years ago. The air feels untouched, the silence almost surreal. Norway's fjords aren't just landscapes, they're natural masterpieces shaped by ice and time. In this video, we're exploring what makes these dramatic inlets some of the most breathtaking views on Earth, and why millions travel here to witness their quiet power. What are fjords and how did they form? A fjord is a long, narrow inlet carved deep into the coastline, surrounded by towering cliffs and steep mountains. These aren't just pretty water channels, they are the result of millions of years of geological work. During the last ice age, massive glaciers moved across the land, cutting through rock with incredible force. They carved deep, U-shaped valleys into the earth, and when the ice eventually melted, the sea rushed in to fill those valleys. Norway has over 1,000 of these fjords stretching along its coastline, making it the most fjord-rich country on the planet. Some reach depths of over 1,300 meters, deeper than many parts of the open ocean. The sheer scale of what nature built here is almost impossible to wrap your head around until you're actually standing at the edge of one. The most famous fjords you need to know. Not all fjords are created equal, and Norway has some absolute legends. Fjord is the longest and deepest, stretching over 200 kilometers inland and plunging to 1,308 meters. Then there's Fjord, arguably the most photographed fjord in the world, known for its emerald green water and iconic waterfalls. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and when you see it in person, you completely understand why. Fjord is another UNESCO gem, the narrowest fjord in Europe, where the cliffs close in around you and you feel like you're passing through a world built for giants. Fjord, known as the Queen of the Fjords, is famous for its fruit orchards that bloom pink and white in spring, creating a stunning contrast against dark rock faces. Each fjord has its own mood and its own kind of magic. The waterfalls that will leave you speechless. One of the most jaw-dropping features of Norway's fjords is the waterfalls. Because the mountains rise so steeply from the water, rainwater and snowmelt have no gentle slope. They simply fall, straight down, sometimes for hundreds of meters. The Seven Sisters waterfall in Fjord is one of the most famous, with 7 separate streams dropping side by side from a cliff face. Across from it stands the Suder, a single powerful stream that legend says is trying to woo the Seven Sisters. Voringsfossen has a free fall of 163 meters, creating a roar you can hear long before you see it. The mist from these waterfalls drifts across the fjords and gives the whole landscape a dreamlike quality. When the sun hits at the right angle, rainbows appear over the water. It's the kind of scene that makes you forget to take pictures because you're too busy staring. Wildlife living in the fjords. The fjords aren't just scenery, they're alive. The cold, nutrient-rich waters support an incredible variety of marine life. Porpoises and harbor seals are commonly spotted near the shores. White-tailed eagles, among the largest birds of prey in Europe, nest in the cliffs with wingspans up to 2.5 meters. Salmon and trout fill the rivers, attracting both bears and anglers. In deeper sections, cod, halibut, and occasional sharks patrol the water. During summer, orcapods move through fjord channels, hunting herring in perfectly coordinated groups. The fjords act as giant natural aquariums, sheltered enough for rich ecosystems, but connected enough to bring in real ocean biodiversity. Sit quietly on a boat or a cliffside long enough, and the fjords will always give you something to watch. The villages hidden in the fjords. Tucked between mountains and water, Norway has small villages that look lifted straight from a fairy tale. Flom is one of the most visited, a tiny settlement at the end of Fjord, famous for the Flom Railway, which many consider one of the most scenic train journeys in the world. The train spirals through tunnels and past roaring waterfalls before dropping into the valley floor. Undradal is so small, its entire population fits in a school gym. Yet it produces some of Norway's finest brown goat cheese and has a stave church dating back to the 12th century. Fjord sits surrounded by the Hardangervidda Plateau, one of Europe's largest mountain plains, where wild reindeer roam and ancient hiking trails stretch for miles. These villages haven't been swallowed by mass tourism. They've managed to hold on to their identity, their food, and their quiet pace of life, even as thousands of visitors pass through every year. The northern lights over the fjords. If you visit Norway's fjords in winter, you enter an entirely different world. Snow caps the peaks, ice forms along the shorelines, and the days are short, but the nights can be extraordinary. The northern lights, or aurora borealis, dance across the sky in ribbons of green, purple, and pink. Seeing and reflected in the still black water of a fjord is an experience people describe as genuinely life-changing. The fjords in winter are quieter and darker, but that silence creates the perfect canvas for the aurora to perform. Tromsø, surrounded by fjords and islands in the far north, is one of the best places in the world to witness the aurora. Even the western fjords, like Sognefjord, can offer stunning clear sky displays during peak season. Bring warm layers, be patient, and keep your eyes on the sky, because when the lights appear over a fjord, nothing else comes close. How to experience the fjords. Bergen is the main gateway city, sitting right on the coast with multiple fjords accessible by ferry, train, and bus. The Norway in a nutshell route combines a train ride, a fjord cruise, and a mountain railway into one single unforgettable day. For those who want more freedom, renting a car lets you drive routes like the Trollstigen and the Atlantic Ocean Road, engineering marvels winding through dramatic scenery. Kayaking gets you close to the cliffs and waterfalls at water level, where you feel the mist on your face and hear water echoing off the rock walls. Hiking trails lead to Pulpit Rock and Tjerog, where you stand on narrow ledges hundreds of meters above the fjord. However you choose to explore, there is no wrong way to experience these landscapes. Why the fjords matter beyond tourism. Norway's fjords are far more than dramatic landscapes. They are woven into the nation's identity and survival. These deep, glacier-carved sea inlets shaped where people lived, how they traveled, and how they earned their living. During the Viking Age, Norse seafarers launched their longships from the calm, protected waters of these fjords, setting out to explore, trade, and sometimes raid across Europe and beyond. For centuries, fjords functioned as natural highways. In a country dominated by mountains and rugged terrain, traveling by land was often slow and dangerous, but by water, communities could stay connected. The fjords provided fish, supported farming settlements along their edges, and sustained local economies for thousands of years. Today, Norway is working to protect this heritage. The government has committed to making its most famous fjords emission-free, encouraging the use of electric ferries and zero-emissions cruise ships to reduce pollution and preserve water quality. The idea is simple but powerful. Long-term environmental health is more valuable than short-term profit. By balancing tourism with sustainability, Norway is showing the world that breathtaking natural beauty and responsible development can exist side by side. Some places don't just look beautiful, they make you feel small in the best way. If this inspired your next adventure, hit like and subscribe for more incredible destinations around the world. And watch the next video to discover another landscape that feels almost unreal.